Welcome back to Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Meltdown. This is part 2 of my audio. Two doors down from me is David Marsh. He's really into karate. He's best friends with Joseph O'Rourke, who's always doing something to get himself injured. Next door to Joseph is Mitchell Pickett, who makes a killing selling pre-made snowballs in the litter. And mark my words, one day that kid's going to be a millionaire. Mitchell lives next to a boy 1 year younger than me who everybody calls Speed Bump. But people steer clear of him because the two other brothers are already in jail. There's a kid named Purvis Gentry who has a tree house in his backyard, and he spends his summer solving neighborhood crimes. Most of the time, the person responsible is Speed Bump. There's a duplex 3/4 of the way down the hill, and the two families who live in it hate each other. I can never keep the kids in their house straight, but I know one of them is named Gino because he has a tattoo on his arm, even though he's only something like 7 years old. There's a boy who lives with his grandmother a few doors down, and his name is Gibson. Everybody calls him Baby Gibson, because no matter how much time goes by, he never seems to get any older. For all I know, Baby Gibson is 32 years old, and he's got kids of his own. There's a playground of preschoolers that gets together twice a week at Miss Jonas' house. I don't know which kids are hers and which ones are her friends. What I do know is that those kids are totally out of control, and the moms don't really seem to care. There are some older kids on our street too. Anthony Dinyard is a sophomore in high school, and he just started shaving, but he got carried away with the razor blade and accidentally shaved off one of his eyebrows. Anthony drew it back on with a brown marker, but he didn't do a good job, and now half of his face always looks surprised. Anthony's best friend is Sheldon Reyes, who tried to make money plowing the neighbor's driveways for the first time. It snowed this winter. But Sheldon doesn't have his license yet, and he did a lot of damage in our neighborhood before the dad found out his son was using his truck. A few doors down from me are the Garza twins, Jeremy and Jameson, who made up their own language when they were toddlers. And when those two are together, no one can understand a word they say. There are a bunch of girls on my street too, but they're just as bad as the guys. The Marley sisters live across from Riley's house, and all 5 of them were born within a few years of each other. I don't know what their deal is, but those girls just randomly attack people who come into their yard. Ah! Amelia Greenwald lives a few doors down from the Marley sisters. Amelia always dresses like a princess, and I think she's seen too many Disney movies. Follow your dreams! Latricia Hooks lives in the 1-story house across from the duplex, and she's a 6'2" high school junior. Roger won't go anywhere near Latricia because she used to bully him when he was my age. Latricia's sister Victoria is in love with Ernesto Gutierrez for some reason. And Victoria's best friend, Evelyn Trimble, dresses like a vampire. In fact, I'm pretty sure everyone thinks she is a vampire, which is one reason I'm glad I don't ride the bus anymore. I haven't mentioned half the kids who live on my hill, but if I ever didn't hold this, it'd take forever. Mom always asks why I'm not friends with any of the kids at the bottom of the hill, even though I've told her a million times why that'll never happen. Surrey Street is divided into 2 halves. There's Upper Surrey Street, which is the hill, and Lower Surrey Street, which is the flat part at the bottom. And even though we all live on the same street, the hill kids and the non-hill kids can't stand one another. Living on the hill is no fun. First of all, it's really far from the school, and the last stretch at the end of the day is no joke, especially when it's hot like it's been recently. The worst thing about living on a hill is that there is not a lot you can do on it, and if you want to play with the ball, you can forget about it. Now, the kids that live on the bottom of the hill have it made. their part of the street is flat, so they can do anything they want down there. That's why all the athletes come from lower Surrey Street. The thing is, the kids who live at the bottom of the hill think they own it. And if any of us hill kids come there to play, the lower Surrey Street kids won't let us. In fact, the reason it took me 4 years to learn to ride a bike was because I had to do it in 5-second spurts. But when it snows, the tables are turned. All of a sudden, the lower Surrey Street kids wanted to use our hill for sledding. That's when we give those guys a taste of their own medicine. Most of the time, we can keep the lower Surrey Street kids off the hill. But they're sneaky, and sometimes they slip past us. Last winter, a bunch of the lower Surrey Street kids bought the same winter gear as the hill kids, and it was weeks before any of us caught on. If you live on Surrey Street, you're either a hill kid or a non-hill kid, and there's no switching sides. There's a kid named Trevor Nix who lived on the hill until last summer, which is when his family moved to a bigger house at the bottom of the street. But the kids down there still consider Trevor a hill person, so they won't let him play on the street. Us hill kids think of him as a traitor for moving, and we won't let him sled in the winter. So now Trevor is basically stuck indoors year-round. What are you doing? You good? Is you good, kitty cat?
Hold on a second.
Is the kitty baby good? Hey. No, please, you better. There's a lot of bad blood between the upper Surrey Street kids and the lower Surrey Street kids, which is why we can't be friends. But whenever I try to explain the situation to Mom, she just doesn't get it. In fact, none of the moms on our street do. They're all friends with one another, and they have no clue what's really going on. Lately, though, things have been pretty calm on our street. Us hill kids keep to our side, and the other guys keep to theirs. But if someone does something stupid, the whole place is going to blow. The temperature dropped about 15 degrees over the weekend, so today my family was out looking for our pet pig. For Christmas vacation, my family went away and we left the pig in the kennel. But I guess the pig thought it should have come with us, and it wasn't too happy about being left behind. When we got back home, the pig let us know how it felt about not being included on our family vacation. After a few days of the pig acting out, Dad decided enough was enough, and he sent the pig to obedience school. But the next morning, we got a call from the lady who runs the place. And she said our pig escaped. When we've been putting up signs asking for help finding our lost pig ever since. But stop. But that thing is smart. So I don't think it's lost. I think it just doesn't want to be found. I figured the pig is probably off hibernating somewhere. Mom says babies don't do that. But if you ask me, I think they should. If I was an animal, that's exactly what I'd be doing right now. On the last day of the fall, I think everyone should get in their pajamas and check out to the spring. When I was younger, I actually tried to hibernate, but it didn't work. See you guys in May. I used to get super excited for Christmas. When December rolled around, it was really hard for me to wait until the big day. So one year on December 1st, I told my parents I was going to go get some sleep. I was going to go to sleep, and they shouldn't wake me up until Christmas morning. I was pretty surprised when they didn't put up a fight. When I went to bed next night, but I only slept until 1:30 p.m. the next day. Then my sleep schedule was screwed up for the next 2 weeks. Mom says it's impossible for human beings to hibernate, but I'm not 100% convinced that's true. There's this group of wild kids who live in the woods, and everybody calls them the Mingos. You never see the Mingos in the winter, and when they make their first appearance in the spring, they look like they just woke up. So if they're not hibernating, I don't know what they're doing all winter. The rest of us normal people have to grind it out and deal with the cold weather. And the only way to do that is to stay inside as much as possible and keep warm. When we got back from our trip a few weeks ago, there was a package on our front step. It was a Christmas gift from Aunt Dorothy. And when we opened it, there was a giant blanket inside. That thing was amazing. It was really soft, but it was also heavy, which is exactly how I like my blankets. The only problem was that the gift was for all three of us boys, and we started fighting over it right away. We wanted to use the blanket at the same time, so Mom told us we were going to have to take turns using it. But the three of us have never been any good at sharing, so Mom had to make a blanket schedule that spelled out who got to use it when. But that wasn't really fair. Manny has his own blanket, so he was double dipping. When it was my turn to use the blanket, I tried to make the most out of it. But it was really hard to enjoy myself because Roger would start hovering over me when I still had 15 minutes left on my shift. We each got 3 half-hour shifts at night, but Roger would cheat Manny out of his turn by taking the blanket into the bathroom right before Manny's shift was supposed to start. Then Roger would sit there for an hour, which cut into my shift. So Mom made a rule that we cannot take the blanket into the bathroom. One night, I slept with the blanket in my room, and Roger complained because he wanted to use it while he ate breakfast. Mom made a new rule that said if you sleep out with the blanket, it had to be returned downstairs by 8 a.m. By the end of the first week, there were so many rules that Mom had to put them all in a manual, which ended up being something like 25 pages long. But that didn't solve our problems, and eventually Mom took the blanket away to give it to someone who deserved it. She said it was our fault we couldn't have something nice because we didn't know how to share. You know, grown-ups are always talking about how great sharing is, but personally I think it's overrated. If I ever get enough money, I'm gonna build a big castle all for myself, and there's gonna be a big heavy blanket in every room. When I woke up this morning, it was below freezing outside. I was relieved. It actually felt like winter again. But when Mom told me I had to wear thermal underwear to school, I thought maybe global warming isn't such a bad thing after all. I hate wearing thermal underwear because it's uncomfortable and I feel ridiculous wearing it. Thermal underwear was cool when it's on the mannequin at the mall, but when I put it on, I just feel like a retired superhero. The mannequins at the mall are always super buff, and they make guys like me who can't spend 3 hours in the gym every day look bad. If I ever get in really good shape, I'm gonna sign up to be one of those to be a mannequin model, because that would be an awesome thing to brag about on a date. The mannequins you see at the store are always in athletic poses, and it looks like it would be hard to stay in that position while someone scolds you. And that's just too much effort for a job that should be easy. So when I apply for the job, I'm going to do it in the Bed and Bath store. Mom says I'm lucky to have thermal underwear, because our ancestors didn't have this kind of stuff to keep them warm. Sometimes I wonder about my ancestors, though I have no idea why they chose to live here, when they could have picked somewhere a whole lot warmer. Looks good to me. But I can't complain, because they survived, and everything they did led directly to me. I just wish they could see how I turned out, so they all know their sacrifices are worth it. I guess we're all lucky to be here, because human beings have to go through a lot to get to where we are now. At school, we learned that 10,000 years ago, a big sheet of ice covered half the planet. And if people made it through that, I guess we can get through anything. My teacher said that one day the Earth is going to be in another ice age, and the glaciers will come back. But I hope it doesn't happen anytime soon. I've heard glaciers move slowly, which is a good thing, because maybe we'll have a chance to do something about it. I don't know which is worse, a planet that's too hot or one that's too cold. All I know is that today was cold, and it wasn't fun walking to school in the morning. I tried to cheer myself up by thinking of things I like about the winter, but I came up with a greatly short list. I came up with a really short list. Christmas is great and all, but after that it's just a long slog to the spring. That's enough for today. Goodbye. Jaden! Come here, baby Jay! Come here, baby Jay! Okay, Jaden's not coming. Bye!